Next up at UFC Vegas 75, we have the featured prelim. We have Raoni Barcelos taking on Miles Johns. Raoni Barcelos 17-4 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that knockout loss to Umar Nurmagomedov. Miles Johns is 13-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the decision win over Vince Morales. And this is an interesting fight because Raoni Barcelos, I have the wrong graphic. Oh man, I didn't do 2 of them. God, what a sloppy mess this is.
Did you just fuck up?
I don't have the Raoni Barcelos, the original graphic with the flag and the DraftKings, so just the stats one. It's been a busy week. Anyway,
do you have your notes?
Oh yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
What I was about to say is,
oh my God, what a disaster that would have been. Oh,
yeah, and then God forbid Angelo uses notes breaking down.
And then Raoni was like, he fought Umar, and then fucking joke.
Anyway, it's an interesting fight because Raoni Barcelos is a well-rounded beast. We've been very high on him in the past. The guy has incredible striking. He's a 5-time national Brazilian champion wrestler. He has very good jiu-jitsu. And he's just great everywhere. He's knocking people down. He's out-striking people. He's out-working people. He's out-wrestling people. He's taking on Miles Johns. Miles Johns, a very good wrestler who found power in his hands, fell in love with the power. He stopped wrestling for a while there, but just recently in his last fight, he seemed to go back to his wrestling against Vince Morales, which you'd love to see. He's got big power in his hands as well. And this is a really interesting breakdown because Raoni Barcelos is better than Miles Johns pretty much everywhere, right? The guy's a 5-time Brazilian national champion wrestler. The guy's phenomenal jiu-jitsu, very technical striker. He's better everywhere. Every single skill you need in MMA, Raoni Barcelos is better. And that's not a dig on Miles Johns. Raoni Barcelos, if he wasn't 36 years old, would have been fighting for a title at this point. But he is 36 years old. And he just got put out hard. And Miles Johns is a guy with big power. He does headhunt at times. If Miles Johns lands clean, then that's it. I mean, Raoni Barcelos is 36, not a long enough time off, in my opinion, from that knockout till now. But the reality is Raoni Barcelos is better everywhere, and I have to pick him to win. And I think the fact that he just got knocked out might actually help him because he may wrestle way more, right? He may just be shooting takedown after takedown after takedown because he doesn't trust his own chin. And Miles Johns may be headhunting even more than he normally does. So I like Raoni Barcelos to get it done. I think skill for skill, he's better absolutely everywhere. And yes, he was just flatlined, but he's not like a guy that has been chinny over, long periods of time. And Miles Johns may headhunt, and that may work against him. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, the breakdown was pretty much everything I was going to say. I mean, Raoni is the best. He's a better fighter. I mean, he's the much better fighter. The pick is Raoni in this fight for most people. But the way that dude got knocked the fuck out, and I'm telling you, that guy got knocked. I mean, he was unconscious on his back, not moving for like several minutes. At 36 years old, that is not a good situation. I think that was like 6 months ago too, something crazy like that. And as you mentioned, Miles Johns does have power in his hands, and he did kind of resort to his old ways in the last fight, and I hope that he comes in, honestly, and just kind of throws wild. I think that he needs to come in, get in the pocket, throw those heavy shots, and test the chin early of Raoni. Let's see if he's able to respond off a big knockout, because that's one of those, I mean, sometimes you just kind of lose your chin and you don't respond after getting knocked out, and there's some knockouts that are like life-changing knockouts. That was like a life-changing, out cold, I mean, just like frozen type knockouts. And 6 months later to fight a guy with power in his hands like Miles Johns is, in my situation, or in my opinion, is not a good situation for Raoni to be in. So Raoni is the better fighter. He's probably, I wouldn't play him at minus 200, whatever the odds are right now. I think that's a little bit aggressive for somebody who just got flatlined in the last fight against a guy that has power in his hands like Miles Johns. But if Miles Johns comes in and tries to out-technical Raoni, he's going to lose. I mean, he's going to lose that fight. He's not going to get the takedowns he needs. He's going to lose his striking exchanges. I think he needs to get wild. I think he needs to be that guy that lost against Sexy Mexi. The reason he resorted back to the way that he used to fight was because Sexy Mexi came in, avoided the power, and was able to just kind of outwork him. But if he brings in that style that he fought Sexy Mexi with the big, wild shots, throwing big shots, because he did land a few shots against Sexy Mexi, but Sexy Mexi, as we know, is just absolutely tough as shit. If he lands on Hani, let's test that chin, baby. And it's not going to be a popular pick. I fully accept that Hani is the better fighter in this matchup. I'm thinking Miles Johns. I think he gets a little bit wild. He knows that dude just got knocked out. He gets, I think he lands a shot.
I can't argue that, right? Because he did just get knocked out cold, but Hani is the better fighter, so I gotta stick to my guns there. Somebody commented, here's just a quick little thing. Somebody commented, younger fighters are 75% right now. I don't know if that's a true statement or not, but what we have working right now is we have a literal nuclear physicist who reached out saying, I love what you guys are doing.
Another one, because I am as well.
Yep. I love what you guys are doing. This is what I do for a living. I've developed this tool. I want you to see it. And it's a tool for DraftKings. While we were talking, I'm like, hey, the AI, or this tool, the AI that's being used, blah, blah, blah. What if we just backed it up and used it for picks as well? So he's developing it now. I said, let's just work on it. Let's get it to pick above a certain percentage, and then we'll start to tell people about it. We'll start to make it a thing and include it in premium and all of that. The first thing he did, and I'm butchering the shit out of this, man. I don't know how this works. But the first thing he did to build this is he loaded it with statistics from every single UFC fight available, period. Right? He built all sorts of scrapers, and he's got the data. He's pulled in data, striking data, age data, body metrics, all of that from every single fight that exists on the internet. Pulled that down, loaded it into the AI. And then he teaches the AI to say, with just using the body metrics, make this decision. Then after that, then you say, okay, now using these metrics, make the decision. So I'm butchering the shit out of it and oversimplifying it. But I talked to him the other day, and he said only using body metrics, only using age, stuff like that, it's already at 70% picking. And he said, if you did nothing else other than pick the younger fighter, you would be at 60%. So in the history of the UFC, the younger fighter wins 60% of the time. Then you add in reach, height, all those other things. So it's pretty interesting to see what happens. We'll release that. That'll be available for premium members at some point. But we're going to start a series where he just essentially starts walking you through building it. But I
can't believe you're still talking about this.
That comment saying younger fighters win 75% of the time sort of triggered that thought. And, here he's 7
like that?
years. He's 7 years younger.
What do you think about that? You're questioning my astrophysicist. All that Angelo equals ass.
No, congrats. You got a real Corky from Life Goes On chart going on there. So congratulations on that, Jacob. Congratulations on that.
You want to bore people more with another fascinating story? You got something up your sleeve? Let's talk about some of your neighbors. You got a lot of neighbor stories.
Here's the difference. Yeah, because I have actual friends in real. Actually, you know what? Somebody commented.
Hey.
Become a premium member. It's $10 a month.
We're just having a conversation. There's no need to get animated.
So somebody commented. So anybody who doesn't know, for the pay-per-views, I just film my day, whatever the hell the day is.
You did such a good job with it last week too.
We turned into a vlog.
It's supposed to be like Saturday, a fight vlog, and it turned into here's a bunch of kids jumping in the pool.
So that's what Saturday was, hanging out with people, drinking, watched a couple of fights, but frankly, I was a little too drunk to remember to keep filming.
Oh, my God.
But we enjoyed the fights. We enjoyed the day. Somebody commented.
I went to 285 and filmed everything. Put a nice little vlog together. You're at home, have 4 seltzers, and can't even film.
One of us is a regular person. The other one is desperate for internet fame. You figure out which one is which.
Well, it comes easy.
And then somebody commented, it was like the dumbest thing. It was like, I couldn't imagine being a guest at your house throwing a camera in somebody's face as soon as they walk in.
Well, he also did mention, 40 years old. Yeah, I can't believe being 40 years old.
It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. So you watched this whole thing and then went to the comments. It's like, get a life, dude. The fact that you woke up, watched this, and then were so compelled to comment that just says so much about you. It's like, Jesus Christ. You saw a yard full of people having fun, hanging out, having drinks.
He couldn't even focus on the kids.
Your takeaway was, ugh, I'd hate to be your friend. It's like, well, okay. Dumb dick.